Arthur placed the porcelain cup on the mahogany table with the silent grace of a ghost, executing a ritual he had perfected over 45 years. He whispered the specifications: 2 sugars, a drop of cream, stirred clockwise, but the young man in the navy suit didn't look up. Ryan, the new CEO fresh from Silicon Valley, spun his chair around with a look of disdain, viewing Arthur not as a human being, but as an outdated relic. He pointed to the shiny chrome machine in the corner, the Brewmaster 3000, and coldly explained the mathematics of efficiency. While the machine cost 10 cents a cup, Arthur cost a salary. In Ryan's eyes, a machine poured liquid, but Arthur argued that a man served respect. Ryan laughed, a frigid sound that froze the room, and declared that respect didn't increase shareholder value. He ordered Arthur to put down his tray and leave the building immediately, discarding him like a used wrapper. Arthur walked out of the glass skyscraper that had been his second home since his 20s, clutching a small cardboard box containing his life's work. He was employee number 4, the invisible glue that had held the ego-filled office together through stock crashes and booming successes. But to the 28-year-old prodigy Ryan, Arthur was merely a line item on a budget sheet, an inefficiency to be deleted. Arthur took the long bus ride home to his empty apartment, where the silence was deafening without his wife, Mary, sitting in his armchair with the afternoon sun casting long, lonely shadows. He felt a crushing weight on his chest. It wasn't the loss of the money that hurt him, as he had a pension, but the total stripping of his purpose. He whispered to the empty room that he was useless, just an old man who poured water, unaware that his absence had already shifted the office atmosphere. Back at the corporate headquarters, the warm scent of Colombian roast was replaced by the metallic, burnt odor of machine pods, and the staff walked on eggshells, knowing no one was safe. Ryan paced the boardroom, preparing for the most important meeting of his career with Mr. Tanaka, a billionaire who valued honor over numbers. Ryan barked at his terrified assistant, Sarah, refusing to use Arthur's traditional ceramic set and insisting on paper cups to show agility and modernity. When Mr. Tanaka arrived, flanked by serious advisors, he looked for the familiar face of his old friend Arthur. Ryan launched into a dazzling, buzzword-heavy presentation, full of AI projections, confident that logic would win the day. However, Mr. Tanaka sat silently, ignoring the screen and staring at the empty table where his green tea usually sat, waiting for the human connection that Ryan had so foolishly discarded. When the presentation ended, Mr. Tanaka cleared his throat and noted that while logic was good, business was ultimately done between people. He gestured to the empty space, noting that Arthur usually brought his tea by now to soothe his throat. Ryan nervously laughed and pressed a button on the loud machine, handing the billionaire a cardboard cup with a tea bag hanging over the side. The silence was deafening as Tanaka looked at the cup with disgust and demanded to know where Arthur was. When Ryan lied and claimed Arthur had retired, Tanaka's eyes narrowed dangerously. He knew today was the anniversary of his father's death, a day Arthur always honored with a special blend. Tanaka declared that a man who lied about small things would lie about billions, and he stood up to leave, threatening to cancel the massive deal immediately. Panic seized Ryan as he realized his career was about to crumble over a cup of tea. He frantically confessed that he had fired Arthur that morning, begging for a second chance. Tanaka looked at him with pure contempt and issued a strict ultimatum. If Arthur was not standing there pouring tea in the proper cup within 60 minutes, the company would be destroyed. Ryan scrambled out of the room, screaming for addresses and keys, driving like a maniac to the east side. He arrived at Arthur's dilapidated apartment breathless and desperate, banging on the door until the confused old man appeared. Ryan fell to his knees, pleading for Arthur to return to save the company and the jobs of everyone in the building. Arthur, seeing the desperation, agreed to return not for the arrogant CEO, but for the company he loved and the honor of serving Mr. Tanaka properly. Arthur refused to rush the process, insisting on wearing his uniform and brewing the tea in his own kitchen, using his own equipment, since Ryan had discarded the office kettle. He whisked the rare matcha leaves with a bamboo brush, his movements slow and meditative, while Ryan vibrated with anxiety over the ticking clock. They raced back to the office, with Arthur holding the thermos like a holy relic, bursting into the boardroom with only 1 minute to spare. Mr. Tanaka was already at the window, ready to leave, but stopped when he saw Arthur enter with the dignity of a king. Arthur bowed low, placed a ceramic cup from home on the table, and poured the steaming green tea. Tanaka took a sip, closed his eyes, and declared it perfect, noting that Ryan was lucky to have a guardian angel who understood the true art of service.